Hi and welcome to this week's Bitrix24 Live. My name's Andy and I'm the support manager here at Interface, and in this session, it's an hour long. I can answer any questions that you may have with regards to Bitrix, so whether it's on the cloud version of Bitrix or the on-premise version, then I can show you on the screen, hopefully, the answers. So our contact details are up on the screen at the moment. We have an office in the US, the UK, and in Dubai. So if you do want to talk to us about anything in reference to Bitrix, so whether it's training, whether it's implementation or ongoing support, then we can certainly help with that. We offer an ongoing support service for telephone and ticketing, so please do get in touch with us. But to start off with, really, in this session, like I say, we're going to take questions, so do put them in the box on YouTube. If you do have any questions throughout the week, please drop them on an email to either sales@Interface or to live@interface.com. And we can certainly answer those at the start of the next session. So let's see on here if we've got some questions that have already come in. And I think that in this session as well, I'll maybe just touch upon a couple of the new features that were recently released in the Dubai webinar recently. So I'll touch upon those. So I had a question: does Bitrix integrate with Shopify? I'm sure it would do. It does integrate with many e-commerce packages. You're probably looking at the integration in terms of inbound and outbound webhooks. That's probably where you're going to need to do the integration. I don't believe there is a standard integration for Shopify, but let's check if there is. So application store on the left hand side. Let's see if Shopify exists on here. We've got PySync. Let's have a look what that does. So this is one app that already exists. So popular syncs include, and we have Shopify on there. So sync your contacts and leads. So that could be a good one. So maybe try out that. The other way, as I mentioned, if you do want to use webhooks, you could theoretically, every time an order is placed on your Shopify store, you could use an inbound webhook to post the information from Shopify into Bitrix. So you could add a webhook here, click on inbound webhook. You'll be wanting to use the CRM to get access to the CRM using this webhook. We could call it Shopify, and then click on save, and then you'll get a unique URL with its own code here, and you can use this URL to post information to. So you can post and create a new contact, maybe you're a company, if somebody places an order, and you could probably create a new deal as well. That could be a good one. For every order that's placed on Shopify, you can create a new deal using this webhook, and create a new deal and create a new contact. So this is probably how you would do it. I'd have a look at that PySync as well in the application store and see if that could meet your needs as well. I've got another question. Hey there, I'm trying out the Bitrix workgroup. I need that only one person responsible for the task should be able to edit the workgroup task. Also, only his task to be visible in the Kanban. So if you go into a work group, you can actually set the permissions of who can see what. So let's just go into one that already exists. So click on Buzzco, and then, so we're in a work group that's already been created. If you click onto Actions and click on Access Permissions in the drop-down list, And then we scroll down. So it may be, one of your questions was they only want to see his task visible in the Kanban. So it might be that you have permission to view all tasks, is maybe just set it to group owner only. And then that group owner can see all the tasks. And that means if a member is responsible for a task, then they will only be able to see their own tasks. They won't be able to see all of the workgroup tasks themselves. So, and that's the case of editing tasks. So you only want the group owner to be able to edit all tasks. I would set it up like that. I mean, it may be that you want the moderators to as well, but that will get you what you need in terms of the responsible person, well, it'd be the creator of the task only being able to edit their own tasks. And yeah, they won't be able to edit anybody else's because they won't be able to see them. So yeah, so I think that's the answer to your question, really. I don't know if you've been in here already, but yeah, I would probably recommend doing all that. It shouldn't do. It shouldn't say, I don't think it works like that. If I set group owner, it shows access denied for anything. I wouldn't have thought if you set it to permission to view all tasks. I don't think it is. I think that's viewing tasks. Maybe I don't have another user in here, but I can certainly test it out and come back to you. That's how it should work, because obviously you're restricting. This will take away the create button. This will take away the edit button for that individual user on all tasks. So maybe we have a look at that. I can come back to you. But yeah, that's certainly how it should work. That's how it's worked for us in the past. So I mentioned that we'll have a look at as well. So please do keep your questions coming in. I mentioned that we would have a look at a couple of the new features in Bitrix that have been released already. We have in our CRM, let's go into the leads first of all, because this is a really useful feature now. We used to get a lot of questions. With regards to, can we create tasks in automation, which obviously you can do, but can we create tasks with checklists automatically? So if I click into leads here, this is just one example in the automation rules. So click into tasks. We've been in here before on these sessions, but if we click into configure and add and for employee, scroll to the bottom, click on tasks, let's see, checklists. We now have the checklist option. So we can add checklist items to a task template in the automation. So we could say item 1, item 2, and so on and so forth. So you can now do checklists in task automation, which is really useful. Like I said, there's been a lot of requests for this. So that is the task in the automation. You can also, if you have been using the business processes, click into settings, automation, business processes, and let's just go into any one of these. So we go into add, and then in the tasks, let's see if it's in here. It should be, I do believe. Yeah, checklist again. So you can create tasks in a business process now, which you obviously always could do, but now we do have the option to fill out a checklist on that. And when referring to checklists, for those of you that don't know, if we click into the tasks link here, and we'll go into a task that already exists, then let's edit a task just to show you the checklists, because they are handy tools, especially if you're using Bitrix for tasks. And click on Save Changes. So it's just essentially creating a checklist which will drop out each time you complete an item in a particular task. Let me just check if we do have any automation rules in the task. I wonder if we have. I think not yet, but I think we are going to have triggers where if a checklist item is completed, then we can actually trigger it to move on to a new automation rule in the in your planner or in your project. So I think that was coming in the Dubai webinar. But if we create a task in here as well, and again, we can create checklists in the task automation. So they're really handy. One of the other items to come out in the new updates that is already out on the cloud version of Bitrix is if we go into a particular lead, then let's just close some of this down. So we've got some planned activity in here. But you can imagine your leads, your contacts, your companies, and your deals are going to have gather a lot of activity on the lead itself. That's where we are at the moment. And you can see here the stream could get months old, and you're going to have a lot of data in this particular stream. So now what we have here is the filtering tool, which is going to be really useful for quite a lot of people. And again, it's something that was requested by a lot of people, a lot of our clients especially. And what it essentially allows you to do is filter out your activity stream in the lead, in the deal, in the contact, and in the company. And you can create filters for, let's just say we want to see all SMS messages that have been sent to this particular lead. And we can save that filter, so we could say SMS. We just click on search, click into here, and you'll see that there's no entries been found because there's been no SMS messages been sent out of here. But you can obviously create multiple filters. If we add fields, you can see when it's been created on, so if you can do, I'm sure you can, would you be able to do a date range? Let's have a look. Yep, so you can do a custom range. So you could see all activity between specific dates in your filter if you wanted to. So this is really, like I say, this is handy, good to know. I think it's not available on the on-premise yet, I don't believe. As I mentioned at the start, we do have two systems. I have the cloud version and we have the cloud version and the let's have a look into this particular lead. Yeah, we don't have the filter available just as yet on there. Okay. So I'll just put our contact details back up. Please do get your questions in if you have any on there. Yeah. Just got a confirmation now of another 360 can integrate with Shopify. Yeah, we said this. I think I would test that one out, the Pi one in the application store first. So our contact details are up. If you are interested in having a demonstration of Bitrix one-to-one, or if you want your team to see if it will be useful for your business, please do get in touch. We can do screen shares. We can try and point you in the right direction, hopefully, on what and how you can use Bitrix. So we recently just had a question, this is not on the screen to show you, we recently had a question about hosting. So if you are looking at the on-premise version of Bitrix, then probably the easiest self-hosted option, other than a partner hosting it, is probably to use the AWS, so the Amazon hosting service. Bitrix does have a tool to install it onto an EC2 instance, and you can specify the size of that particular instance to hold whatever data that you need to. So we usually recommend around about, we say 20 gig for your system data, so your database and your system files. And then it's completely up to you what you add on to that. So we would usually say around about 80 gigs to would be usually quite enough to start off with, but obviously it all depends on your document storage that you require. So I do need some questions in. I haven't got many that have come through in the week. If we don't get any questions through, I will have to finish early. So please do ask away. So I had a question as well, again, just not on here, that did come through, and it's a question that gets asked quite a lot, just about the mobile application. And you can have your Extranet users log on to your mobile app if you wanted to. So for those of you that don't know, one of the commercial packages of Bitrix has your intranet. So everything on here that you can see is available to your employees. And you can see down the left hand side there's a whole range of different modules and different features on your intranet. But you also have an extranet. So an extranet is generally used for when you create an extranet workgroup. So you can create an external workgroup here or an external project. And you can invite your clients into those particular types of work groups. So if I click on an external project, we might call this, let's just call this Bitrix24 Live June. So we give it a name, give it an icon. The good thing about setting up a project on Bitrix is that you can specify the project dates. So we click into here, and let's just say we'll go from today until the end of the month. And one of the good things with setting project dates allows you to essentially restrict access. Restrict the ability to set deadlines out of those ranges. So if I was to create a task that had a deadline after the 30th of June, then it's not going to let me create that task. It's going to say that the date that you've specified for the deadline is out of those specific project date ranges. So that's one of the useful aspects of this. And then you set your project owner, you can set your moderators. And we looked at permissions earlier in work groups, and this is, if you are creating external extranet work groups, then you should probably set a good structure as your employees should be generally moderators. So we can add employees here, Jack and Damien. And what we tend to recommend is then have your external users as members. So that would then give you a separation, so you can set permissions for your owner and moderator, and then you can sort of restrict your clients if they're going to be your extranet users here. So you can specify your extranet user. So if I said Andy Naylor here, and then we can, if they don't exist on the system already, then we can send them an email with a little note to welcome them to the new project. They'll get the email, click on a link, and then be able to register and set their passwords. We can determine what modules we want in here. This is the first area of permissions, so that's what I was mentioning. You probably don't want your clients as extranet users, as members in the project, to be able to invite. So having your employees as a project owner and moderators does give you some form of separation. And then if we click create, it creates the work group for you. So you can see here we have, because it's a project group, the tasks is the home page of the group, and you can specify your project stages on here. So you can simply add new stages to your project. So we could say in development. And setting these stages is unique to this particular project. But I'll just go back to why I started talking about this. With Bitrix, you have the intranet and you have the extranet. Now, when you have invited your Extranet user, they'll receive the invitation and log in to Bitrix. And once they log into Bitrix, they'll access your Extranet, and you can style it up however you wish on here. If you are using the on-premise version, you can really customize this, so you can have your own banners down the right-hand side. But your Extranet user will only see the work group that they are involved in. So you can see this, I'm logged in as an administrator at the moment, but you can see on here that I have Buzzco, Amiga Corp, Zoom Limited, and then we've created a custom menu link, and then there's some custom menu links in here too. So one of the work group I've just created, so let's just move that up into here. So an Extranet user will see the work group in the left-hand side, what they've been invited to, and they will be able to see these links as well. And the only thing that they will be able to see though is the activity, tasks, calendar, documents that is inside the work group that they've been invited to. So they won't be able to see anything else. They wouldn't be able to ever access your intranet. You wouldn't be able to access your CRM or anything like that. It's a common question that we get with Extranet users. They would just have access to that specific work group and everything inside it. And then based on the permissions inside that work group, they'll be able to see certain elements of it too in there. So that's how Extranet work groups work really. They have a great amount of features, especially you can have live chat, so you can live chat to your clients if you invited them into an Extranet group. And you have document storage, so if it is a project, you can have project-specific documents in there. And they obviously have the task management. So we invite clients in who've got support with us or have been working on projects with us, because they can see everything that's happening on their specific project. So if this was a project of ours, the Extranet user would log in, see Bitrix24 Live June in the left-hand menu, click on it, and then they would see all the tasks that are currently in a specific status or a specific stage in their project. And then they'll be able to collaborate on those tasks if you want them to, so you can add them in as participants to tasks. So every time we update a particular task, then they will also get a notification if they're logged in, or if they're not logged in, they will get an email of that particular update of that task. So it really does get your clients involved in projects in this case. And we create work groups for our support clients, so they can log in and ask us any questions in their own work group. We can respond to them in comments. So for example, in this case, if this was a support group of ours, we may get a customer that says, how do I update permissions in the CRM? They will then click on send, and then we'll get a notification that the customer has sent a message on the activity stream of their work group. And then you can click on add comment, and I could reply then saying CRM. Obviously, I will give it a little bit more of a description, but you can see how you can start collaborating on things in the activity stream and so on. So it's definitely a good way of working together and working in their specific group on there. So hopefully that helps a little bit. If anybody was, there's one good thing about the Extranet users as well. Extranet users are completely and 100% free. So if you've got a paid package on Bitrix, I think it's a standard and above, then you can have as many Extranet users as you want. So theoretically, you could have 1 million Extranet users. You wouldn't be charged any different. They are free, and yeah, it's definitely useful that way, because you can invite as many of your clients in as you want. So one of the questions that we get as well, I'll just cover with regards to booking meetings with clients. So if we go into our CRM, let's jump into our CRM here, go into a contact, and let's just say that we want to book a meeting with Mike Black here. So on the right hand side you can see we have some activity options at the top right, and we want to book a meeting in on here. So you can see here that we have a calendar option for today, so we're in Thursday the 6th of June. You can see if somebody has booked something out, there usually would be a red line, so that would be, this is my calendar, so I can see that I'm currently available. I'll be available tomorrow at 10 a.m. So that will specify the dates and the time. You can set them here as well. Meeting subject, location, who is it with. But the question that we get quite a lot is we want to be able to bring in other members of the team. So here you can see we've got with Mike Black, I can only change it, I can't add multiple people to this. Or the responsible person, I can only change it, so I could change it to Lucy. I can't add multiple people here. So I can't really add attendees in here. I can only add myself or whoever it's for and Mike Black. So what we would tend to say with this is we would do it a different way. So instead of going to the CRM, Mike Black, we would go to the calendar and we would add an event. And we would say whatever the event is, meeting with Mike. And again, if I wanted to set it to tomorrow, let's just say 10:30 a.m. till 11:30, so we're still available here. But the good thing is we can add multiple people in here. So we can add Mike, Lucy, John, and Mark. So again, it will bring in all their availabilities in their calendar. So if somebody's booked out, it won't let you book this specific 10:30 till 11:30. If we scroll down, add more, description, set reminders, set colours, add it to my calendar. The main thing with doing it, instead of booking meetings in the CRM, we can book meetings in the calendar here. And instead of this, we can click on contacts and I can see Mike Black. So if I click on Mike Black, click select, that's how we would do it on here. So is it possible to take meeting minutes? I'll pop into the meetings module on this site in a moment, and maybe that's where it would be best to take meeting minutes. The only thing that you have on this once you save it is obviously it books it into your calendar on here, and then open it. And you could take minutes, I suppose, if you were to do in the comments. You could specify in here what you have. But I'll show you in a moment. It might be the other option that could be better. But I just wanted to finish this point off. Just if we go back into the CRM now, go into contacts and go back into Mike Black, then you should be able to see here meeting with Mike, what we've just booked in tomorrow. Click into here and I'll be able to see the same information. So it's just a very good way of being able to add multiple employees in if multiple employees are attending a meeting with a client in the CRM. So hopefully you find that useful. With regards to, I think it's in meetings and briefings. So this is probably where, I don't know what version of Bitrix you have, but this is probably where we add new meetings in here. I don't know if we've got this installed on here actually. Let me just double check. Oh, we don't. So maybe we don't have this installed, but if you're on time and reports and meetings and briefings, you can actually set up your own meetings in here. Let me just see if it's on the cloud version. Oh, it is. Let's have a look. Oh no, we can't go on there either. So yeah, I would recommend going to meetings and briefings and having a look in there. That's probably the best place where you can take meeting minutes, because you can essentially create topics for individual points of the meeting and break a meeting down into multiple different sections. So maybe on the next session next week, I'll get this installed onto our system and we can probably go through it on there if that would be okay. So I've probably got another one question that came through in the week, just with regards to about meetings. Is it possible to book rooms through meetings as you would like Outlook? So yeah, it certainly is. So if you click back into the calendar, you do have, when you create an event, you do have a location, and you can add like a meeting room on here. So add a meeting room, like say for example we had KBMG room 1. You can see that once you add it, it adds a meeting room to the calendar event. It basically makes it like an attendee, and that calendar, once somebody books that room out, so you can see it's been booked out for a few days here. Let me see if there are some others. So you can see table number 2, for example, it's free. So that's essentially how it works. If you want to add a new meeting room, you can click on add meeting room, add it, and it will essentially make a calendar for that particular room. So when somebody's booking it against that location, it will add it into, make it look like that if it's booked out, and you'll not be able to book that meeting into that room. So hopefully that helps in that question. Just following on, I had a question just with regards to CRM marketing segments. So just jumping around a little bit, but the CRM marketing segment is basically a mailing list. And what we would always recommend with regards to the mailing list is to essentially create your mailing list from your CRM. Because your CRM is filled with the data that you store against any leads, any deals, any companies or any contacts, you have access to those fields in here with regards to your filtering. So let's just say we wanted to find all our leads that had a specific source of, if we said live chat maybe, and then we created a filter. So we've got 2 here, but then we might want to filter it down, and let's just say we want to have, let's have a look what we've got. Maybe a status of looking good. Click on here. And obviously we don't have too much data in here, but you can start filtering down your data as narrow as you want and as targeted as you want. And what you can do with that is if I just click off here and just let it have 2, and then once you've created your filter, you'll have a filtered list. Click on here, and then what we can do is we can select the action down at the bottom here, and we can add to segment straight from the CRM. So your filtered list can easily get added to a segment that exists. So you'll see all our mailing segments in here. So you can do it, add it to lead segment 809, Andy's mailing list. Or alternatively, you can create a new segment completely, directly from the CRM into the segment in the CRM marketing. So if I click into CRM marketing now, click into segments, you'll be able to see exactly the same list as what was available down at that bottom selection box, and you'll be able to see in here wherever you add it to. So it's definitely a good way of being able to easily add your contacts or your leads or your company data to CRM mailing segments straight from the CRM. And I think that's what's really good with Bitrix itself, is the integration from your marketing module now that I think it's still in beta, and the marketing, because it's still getting developed. But then you can use it in email campaigns, SMS campaigns, and voice broadcasting, as long as you've got the telephony and SMS modules installed, essentially. So yeah, so it's just definitely a good way of being able to integrate from the CRM, get the data straight out. And another question was, what happens if somebody unsubscribes that is in multiple mailing lists? Then if one individual unsubscribes from your one campaign, but they're in multiple segments, then they are going to get unsubscribed from all of those segments. So it's you don't need to go into each individual segment and unsubscribe them from that particular list. So that can be quite useful. If you are using the CRM marketing, then it's definitely handy. There are some limits of what you can use the CRM marketing in terms of what package you're on. So if you're on a free cloud, I don't know the limits themselves, but if you go to Bitrix24.com, because this again, I had a few questions in the week just about limitations in terms of the CRM marketing and the sites module. But if we scroll down and look into marketing here, so this email marketing is not available on the free cloud version, but as soon as you go up to the next package, which is just, I think it's $39 a month, you can actually send 35,000 emails per month. Go up to the standard, it's 50,000. Go up to the professional, it's 1 million. And if you go on to the on-premise version, then it's unlimited, because it's essentially running off whatever email service you've got connected to your on-premise version of Bitrix. So all the limitations and things such as these, so we have sites and landing, and again there are some limitations of what you can create your own website. So you can create one website here, you can create 10 on the $39 package, 10 on the standard, and unlimited sites on the professional. And again, on the on-premise version, you can create an unlimited amount too. So the next point I'll go back to is the sites, just to show you what it's done. Because I don't have any more questions, so please do put your questions in the box and I can answer them. But yeah, our contact details are up on the screen. And as I mentioned previously, if you do have any questions, or if you're interested in buying Bitrix but you want to know a few facts before, you can do one-on-one demonstrations and show you personalised more towards your business needs. So just please get in touch using one of the phone numbers on the screen, depending on what your local office is, or drop us an email on the email address on there. So we are here every Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and here to answer any questions. So it's just to point out, while the email's on the screen, please do send your questions through to sales@intraface.com, and we'll 100% answer them in the next session. All these sessions are recorded, so if you do ask us a question in the week and we answer it on the next Thursday session, then we can always, you'll always be able to see it back, even if you don't join us at the start and we answered it at the start. So you'll be able to watch the video back. So as no questions have come in, I'll just explain a little bit, probably the last point if no other questions do come in, just with regards to sites and landing pages. So if we go into our sites, I don't know if any of you were on the webinar on Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern, that we did go through the sites module. So we do have webinars every Monday as well, and you just need to go to intraface.com/webinars and you can register for the next one. We focus on each module individually, so we focus on sites, we focus on the CRM on its own, project management, total telephony. There's quite a lot of different ones we go through, so we do focus on module by module. But as I'm in the sites module now, what it allows you to do is create a website completely for free. And you can create this website very easily, edit it very easily, and publish it online on a domain of your choice. So we'll just have a look at one here that we've created using a template. So if I click on visit site, and you can see here this is a landing page, so it's a one-page website, but it's quite a powerful simple landing page that we have. We have a CRM form here, we have our widgets, so we can use the widgets and we can use live chat. So what people tend to do with regards to this is create a landing page per marketing campaign. So if you create a marketing campaign for a specific thing each month, you could create a landing page that points links from your email marketing directly to your landing page. And this will use the CRM forms on the landing page, and once those forms get submitted, it will then essentially generate a new lead on your system. So this is one that we've already created. If you wanted to then edit it, click on View Pages, click on Actions, click on Edit. They are very easy to edit, so you can see here. You can see here we may want to click on Edit and actually use a free cake recipes. Click on Save, and you can see here it's as easy as that to add a new CRM form to your website. If you want to add a new block, there are so many blocks you can use that are pre-built. So you can use text and images that are pre-built on here, all the blocks. So they all come with static. If I wanted to use this one as an example, they all come with stock photos, but you can easily change these. So if you wanted to click in here, I can click on Upload. I can maybe insert from Unsplash, which is a gallery of royalty-free images, so you can really find some quite a lot in here. But if I wanted to click on this one, click on here, click on Save, and you can see that's how quick and easy it is to start editing your site on here. So this is just a stock photo. So it's, and then we can just click on here. So you can start editing the text. So it really is useful. It's really handy. Once you're ready to publish it, click on Publish and it will go live. If you want to click on Site Settings and Site Preferences, this is where you can set your domain name. So you click on here, click on the pencil, use your own domain name, and it will give you a DNS record, so you can point your domain to your new Bitrix24 site. And another benefit of using the Sites module inside Bitrix is that it automatically installs a, click on here, an SSL certificate, so HTTPS. So it will automatically add that. So you don't need to worry about renewing your SSL certificates. It's free with every site that you create, so it is handy. And you can obviously edit the page preferences and add your own tags and titles and keywords and so on and so forth. So you can optimize it for search engines as well. So they've not missed anything in here. And you can add your own analytics, so you can add Google Analytics into your site so you can see the traffic. But I think adding the widgets is really useful because, like I say, these come with Bitrix as standard. So we can have a live chat post up. Somebody can send you a message on live chat, and then you can pick it back up through the open channel widget on the right hand side here. So you can directly talk with somebody that's on your website if you wanted to. Okay, so I think that's it. We don't have any more questions that have come through. Again, just to point out, we are Intraface, we're Bitrix24 Gold Partners. We're here every Thursday at 10 AM Eastern to answer any questions that you may have. Just count it as an hour of free support. Come with a list of questions and we can answer them as we go along. If we can't answer them, there was one earlier that we're going to have a look at again. But yeah, please do get your questions in, because without your questions, obviously we can only carry on for so long going through some of the different features. But yeah, if you are interested in Bitrix, please do get in touch with us, and we can assist you with any inquiries that you may have. So thank you very much for your time, and I will see you next week.